Only 4% of bees make honey, and the honey they can make or break your mead. I used to think honey was just honey, clover, maybe orange blossom if I wanted to feel fancy. But once I started making mead, I found out just how wrong I was. Before we dive in, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. It helps me keep making content like this for the mead making community. Now let's jump in. I used the same recipe, same process. Ended up with 2 totally different meads. The only thing I changed, the honey. That's when it hit me. Honey doesn't just sweeten, it defines the mead from start to finish. You can adjust acidity, tannins, or sweetness later, but the honey you choose sets the core. If it's off, no fix can bring it back. From marshmallow smooth to citrus bright or tannic bold, every variety reshapes aroma, flavor, and mouthfeel. Pick the right one, and your mead transforms. Before we dive into types of honey, let's talk about how it's made and what labels really mean. Of the 20,000 bee species on Earth, only a handful actually make honey, mostly the honeybee. A female bee collects nectar and stores it in a special honey sac. Their enzymes break it into simple sugars. Back at the hive, she passes it off to another worker who deposits it into a wax cell. Bees then fan it until it thickens to 18% water. That's honey. But the label on the jar matters. Pure honey means no added sweeteners. Raw honey hasn't been pasteurized and keeps more natural enzymes. Organic honey is tricky. It's supposed to come from pesticide-free flowers. But in the US, most of it's imported due to how far bees can fly. Unfiltered honey may still have wax or pollen, but could still be heat treated. Creamed or whipped honey, that's just crystallized into a smooth, spreadable form. Honeycomb is edible wax with raw honey inside. And hot honey, that's chili infused. Tasty, but not for fermentation. You'll also see single source or monofloral honey, which comes mostly from one kind of flower, like clover, orange blossom, etc. Multifloral or wildflower honey is a blend of nectar from many blooms, which can shift flavor depending on the season. So what kind of honey should you use in your mead? You've probably seen those plastic bears of clover honey at the store or fancy jars from the local co-op or farmer's market and wondered, does it matter? Well, it does. The honey you choose shapes everything: flavor, aroma, and how well it ferments. So let's break it down. Clover honey is the go-to for many mead makers, but clover honey comes in varieties. White clover is light and floral. Red clover is darker with earthy and herbal notes. Sweet clover is golden with warm cinnamon and vanilla tones. So wildflower and clover are your go-to for affordable neutral meads. What if you want something fruitier? Sage honey, found mostly in the West, brings a clean herbal character. White sage is pale and crisp. Purple sage is more floral, with a hint of menthol. Both are great for dry meads. Orange blossom honey is golden, fragrant, and citrusy. That brightness lifts fruit-forward meads, giving them a zesty, clean finish. So if you're looking toward a fruity profile, orange blossom and other blossom honeys like raspberry or blueberry bring a lot of personality. Next, let's explore honeys that bring body, creaminess, and dessert-like notes to your glass. Star thistle honey is subtle and versatile, floral with mild spice and balanced sweetness. It works well in dry or sweet meads. Meadowfoam honey is dark amber with marshmallow and vanilla frosting notes. It's rich and dessert-like, perfect for back sweetening or blending. Rich honey like meadowfoam, macadamian, tupelo, blueberry blossom adds serious depth. Use them when you want a mead to feel lush and indulgent. So, for luxurious mouthfeel and dessert-ready complexity, these honeys are a win. So if you want something with a punch, let's get into the boldest honeys next. Sourwood honey is buttery with hints of spice and licorice. It's smooth, medium body, adding a complexity without taking over. Fireweed honey is pale, crisp, and light. Great for sparkling or session meads. Guajillo honey from Texas has a fruity, lightly spicy aroma and a mild balanced flavor. Raspberry blossom honey is soft, fruity, and blends well with fruit or florals. So if you're looking for balance and flexibility, honeys like Guajillo or raspberry keep things light without getting in the way. But sometimes you want something louder. Let's move to the boldest, most intense honey styles. Chestnut honey is dark, nutty, and tannic, best used intentionally. Poplar honey is resinous and malty. It adds bark-like richness to spice-forward meads. Manuka honey is dark, rich, and slightly medicinal, used in small doses or aged meads. Buckwheat honey is strong and earthy, sometimes described as barnyardy, but in small doses it adds molasses-like depth and dark malt character. It's ideal for robust braggots or spice meads where you need a grounding backbone. Mesquite honey from the Southwest is smoky, dry, and mellow. So if you're working with bold ingredients like dark fruits, spices, roasted malts, these intense honeys like mesquite or buckwheat hold their own and add dimension. So when your recipe needs backbone or bold character, intense honeys are your foundation. But if you're watching your budget or scaling up a batch, let's look at more affordable options. If you want bold flavor that stands up to big ingredients, these are solid picks. But for large batches or budget-conscious brews, there are smarter options to explore. Macadamia nut honey is buttery, roasted, and smooth, great for dessert meads. So if you're brewing with a cost or volume in mind, these honeys give you flexibility without sacrificing flavor. Baker's honey, also known as melter honey, is leftover honey extracted with heat from wax cappings. It's darker, often more caramelized, which makes it perfect for bouchées or heavily spiced meads where honey complexity can shine without costing a fortune. But if you're feeling adventurous, let's explore wildcards that can push your creativity. Christmas berry honey, also known as Brazilian pink pepper honey, is tangy, fruity, and a little spicy. Its cider-like character works great for festive batches. Acacia honey is nearly clear, with a very sharp citrusy tang. It's floral, light, and perfect when you want clean structure without weight. So if you're working with delicate ingredients or aiming for elegance, this is your go-to. And then there are the wild cards. Honeys you won't see every day that might be local, seasonal, or just a little weird. Carrot blossom honey is one of those surprises. It's floral with an herbal edge, slightly savory with hints of spice. Used thoughtfully, it creates meads that taste both rustic and refined, but they offer something rare. Unexpected flavors that create unforgettable meads when used with vision. Here's what most people miss. The same honey can taste completely different depending on where it's made. That's called terroir. Same in the wine world. Clover from Montana tastes sharper than Clover from Arkansas. Orange blossom honey from Florida, juicier than California's. Bees don't gather nectar, they gather place. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to help. You'll also find a list of some of my gear I use for mead making in the description. And for deeper guidance, check out my mead making videos and playlist over here. They have step-by-step walkthroughs, pro techniques, flavor tips that can help you craft truly great mead. Happy mead making. I can't wait to see what you create.